So I've always run ever since I was a kid. So when I was in primary school and high school, I was pretty into athletics. Like I did the little laths and stuff. I started out being a sprinter. So kind of the 100 metres, the hurdles, they were my pet events. And after high school, got to uni and running sort of became a bit less of a priority. Like I might do a 5K run a couple of times a week to just keep fit. But then maybe when I got into my mid-20s, I started taking it a bit more seriously and wanted to get back into competing. And I did more, like I wanted to increase the distances, so I started getting into like the half marathons and longer events. And yeah, I've been like really into it ever since. I think these days, one of the biggest things that sort of propels me to keep running is a bit of like a mental health check. I have quite a stressful job, and what I like about running is even if it's for half an hour or whatever a day, it's that one time of the day I don't have to think about work, where my brain can finally have just a rest and I'm out and getting fresh air. And I just find it, I know it's a bit of a contradiction because I'm exercising, but I find it relaxing compared to what I'm doing at work every day. Probably the most constant challenge I have is time. I don't know, I'm sure everyone is in this boat too, but fitting in your training with a busy work schedule and, you know, like having a social life, getting 8 hours sleep a night, doing your groceries, cleaning your house, all that stuff, it's a lot to fit in. And unfortunately, sometimes for me, exercise gets the short straw. So having someone like Chris to kind of outsource my training schedule to, and that's been such a burden off my shoulders because I don't even have to think about it. I just read the plan every day. I'm like, all right, today I'm doing this. I don't have to think about it. So that's been really good. And just having someone like Chris to sort of, he always checks in every couple of days, see how you're going, and just to not only to keep you accountable, but to like help you out with just little tips like about nutrition, rest, recovery, all that sort of stuff. It's so good having him to bounce ideas off. And the other thing I really like about being part of the GoRun community is just going to the weekly session and having other people to talk about running with. Like, I love running and I'm obsessed with it, but I don't want to bore my friends by talking about running with them all the time. Like, they don't care. Really having some like new friends where you can go and talk about that stuff with, and you know they're just as interested as you, that's really good.